All right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our School Health Advisory Council meeting. This is our scheduled meeting, our regular scheduled meeting for the month of March. We are going to begin with, yes, did I hear someone? Okay. We're going to begin our school health, our SHAC meeting today with we have three agenda items that we're going to be covering today. The first is Child Nutrition Services Update, our Food Service Management Company RFP Evaluation Committee. And I'm going to pass the presentation over to Amy Childress and Thomas Stone.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
No, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Good afternoon. So we are, as I had mentioned at our last meeting, we have our Food Service Management Company bid that will be coming in on Monday afternoon. And once that bid is received, I need a 3 to 5 person committee to review the proposals. There is a score sheet that we have to score the proposals in order to select that bid. So I was just inquiring and putting it out there. We would like to have a member of the SHAC committee on that evaluation committee. We will be meeting Wednesday, March 30th at 8 a.m. And we should be able to conclude by around lunchtime. So I was just putting it out there if there's anyone that would like to volunteer to be on that committee.
Okay, SHAC members, we do have, and I think we'd like to ask our parents to open that up as an opportunity. It is a as Ms. Childress mentioned, it is a bid for our food service company. So this is an opportunity for parents that are participants of the SHAC to volunteer to be a part of this committee.
I'm available if you need me. If Miss Howard, if I think you said you just need one parent. If she's not available, I can do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I do have a prior commitment already. I apologize, but thank you for volunteering.
Okay, Miss Howard. Yes, Miss Sandra and everybody else, if it's okay with y'all, I can do it.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Wonderful. So Ms. Lopez, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass the information over to Ms. Childress so that she can contact you to remind you of this meeting and this survey process that we're going to do. Thank you very much for volunteering.
Yes, thank you. I will be needing to send you an email. There is just some little guidance that you will need to read before the committee actually meets. And then I'll send you an invite also to remind you of the meeting.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful. So we're going to move on to item number B. Item B is the annual school health survey from the Texas Education Agency. And we are required to share with the SHAC what this school health survey looks like. So if you bear with me, I'm going to share the screen. And what we will need to do is we will be polling this will be shared with our district committee. And so just so that it won't be as a surprise, this would actually, as I'm looking at this, you will see that it falls under school health. The majority of the questions are going to be geared towards the PE health area. So it doesn't come as a surprise that you're going to see some questions related to how we're implementing school health. So this is the coverage. This is the actual survey. Of course, the survey does have to be submitted electronically. It only takes approximately 15 to 30 minutes to complete. The deadline for completing this survey is Friday, May 27, 2022. And so we're going to talk about who the preparer is going to be and the list, but the very first question here is, during the 2021-22 academic year, were members of the following groups represented on your school health advisory council? And we need to mark all that apply. Who was participating? Did we have the business community? Did we have clergy or faith-based organizations represented? Did we have healthcare professionals such as school nurses represented? Law enforcement, local domestic violence programs, nonprofit health organizations, school administrators, school teachers, senior citizens, students, not applicable means that charter schools do not have to follow this requirement. So this wouldn't necessarily be one that we would mark off. Question number 2 is, how many times did our SHAC meet during the 2021-2022 school year? So again, this is part of the survey that shows that we're required to have a SHAC and meet and to document the times that we're meeting. And then the questions start to change. Now the focus you'll see is the questions. Number 3 is, during the 2021-22 school year, academic year, what was your district charter school's practice for meeting the elementary school physical activity requirement? So was it 30 minutes a day for all grade levels, 30 minutes a day for some grade levels, 135 minutes per week? And so we'll see here that Nydia, Ms. Contreras, would probably be, working along with Ms. Gomez to answer the vast majority of these questions. So they're going to be asking, what is our school's practice for meeting the elementary school physical activity requirement? You're going to see this same question, this part, as part of our wellness goals, in which I'm going to refer to you. I'm going to share with you a little bit later. Question 4, during this 21-22 school year, was your district charter school's practice for meeting the middle junior high physical activity requirement? So what was the activity requirement for middle schools? Question 5, during the 2021-22 academic year, did each campus in your district have the appropriate equipment and adequate facilities for students to engage in the amount of and intensity of physical activity required by the Texas Education Code? Yes or no? Number 6, during the 2021-22 academic year, did your district have a policy to allow teachers or administrators in the district to withhold physical activity from a student as a form of punishment? Question 7, during the 2021 academic year, did your district allow modifications or accommodations to enable physical education courses to meet the needs of students with disabilities? Question 8, during the 2021-22 academic year, did our district notify parents that they could request in writing their child's physical fitness assessment results at the end of the school year? So did we tell parents that they could request the results in writing?
Yes, we do that. And at the end of the year, every parent receives a copy of the fitness assessment.
Right. So number 9, during the 2021 academic year, did our district adopt policies and procedures that prescribe penalties for the use of electronic cigarettes and tobacco products by students and others on campuses or at school-sponsored school-related events? And yes, we do have that in our student handbook. Number 10, during the 2021-22 academic year, did our district school use a suicide prevention program or curriculum for students for the Suicide Prevention Resource Center's Best Practice Registry? And we do have the Del Rio Cares, and we do have a suicide prevention protocol that we have in place. Question number 11, during the 2021-22 academic year, did your district school provide training for staff in dealing with students at risk of suicide recognizing early warning signs, and how to intervene effectively with students. Okay, this is a great question right here because we had a conversation not too long ago with, as a matter of fact, we had Mr. Richardson and Ms. Lopez come by and visit us with a grant proposal from BCFS for the future. So, which kind of follows along the line is how we would like to deal with students who are most at risk. Question number 12, during the 2021-22 academic year, which coordinated school health program did our district implement in the elementary schools? So this is going to be a question for, again, Ms. Fernandez and Nurse Limon, is do we have a coordinated school health program, and which one of these did we implement? Number 13, during the 2021-22 academic year, which coordinated school health program did our district implement in middle school? So the first question was for elementary schools, and the second question was for middle school. And then 14, during the 2021 academic year, did our district require health education as a graduation requirement for high school students? And then the last question, I think, during the 21-22 academic year, did our district school adopt policies to meet the USDA Smart Snack competitive food requirement? So this is a question that would apply to our food services program. Question 16, during the 21-22 academic year, did our local wellness policy address any of the following? Did it address increased opportunities for students to be physically active? Did we say we were going to increase opportunities for students to select and consume healthier foods or snacks? Improve access to fresh fruits and vegetables by implementing a farm to school program or fruit and vegetable snack program? And then during the 21-22 academic year, did our district have a bullying policy that addresses any of the following? Bullying based on gender, bullying based on race and ethnicity, bullying based on sexual orientation and identity, bullying based on physical characteristics, cyberbullying. And yes, we do have a current school policy that does apply and address the bullying policy and addresses every one of these. And so you see that this school health survey pretty much follows the wellness plan that we had, the SHAC, the previous SHAC had put into place to make sure that we had all of these areas addressed. And so this is an annual process. I'm going to stop the share. This is an annual process. We are required by statute to be able to make sure that we have all of these in place. Now, are there areas for improvement? By all means, there are areas for improvement. And once we complete the survey, I'm going to ask some of our participants, like maybe perhaps Nydia and Melissa and all that, and to kind of answer those questions and show how, what are the areas that we have done well, and what are the areas that we need improvement. So what does that mean? That means that as a result of the school health survey, that draws us to then make recommendations and amendments to the district's wellness policy. What is it that we need to address that we have not addressed? It's okay. Any questions up to this point? Okay, so I'm gonna share with you now the last item in the agenda is the actual wellness plan. And I want to remind everyone that the wellness plan can be found on the district's webpage under Board of Trustees and under the SHAC webpage. And you will see the wellness policy is posted as required by law. And it is now our duty to go and take a look at our wellness plan. As we discussed at one of our first meetings, is that we would wait until the end of the year to see how we have implemented our wellness plan. So I'm going to send this to you because I'm going to send a survey. Remember that we said that we would talk about what are some of the requirements of the wellness plan. And so you'll see that it's divided up into goals. There's goals for nutrition promotion. And you'll see some of these same goals follow the questions that were in the survey that we saw earlier. So it says the district's food service staff, teachers, and other district personnel shall consistently promote healthy nutrition messages in cafeterias, classrooms, and other appropriate settings. There were some objectives as to how they were going to do that. Goal number 2 was the district was going to share educational nutrition information with families and the general public to promote healthy nutrition choices and positively influence the health of students. And we said there were some objectives to that. We said that we would do the NutriSlice app. And I believe what we've also done is we've had Chef do some presentations that we've been able to videotape and share with our families. So we're going to go back and we're going to talk about the evaluation and then kind of score it. The goal is the district shall deliver nutrition education that fosters the adoption and maintenance of healthy eating behaviors. So how are we addressing healthy eating behaviors on campus? And that's kind of ties into your health education. So we said that the roving chef program would be implemented, and Eat Your Alphabet was another. At the time, there was the Teen Fit program. Goal number 2 was the district shall make nutrition education a district-wide priority and shall integrate nutrition education into other areas of the curriculum. So they would integrate nutrition education into the CTE program, the culinary arts program. Implement a 20-minute weekly lesson on nutrition in K through 7th grade. Goal number 3, the district shall provide professional development so that teachers and other staff responsible for the nutrition education program are adequately prepared to effectively deliver the program. And we said here that your elementary and middle PE staff would receive training to the development and implementation of a nutrition education curriculum for K-7 students in their health class.
Okay, so I'm going to interrupt a little bit there, if that's okay.
Okay.
Did you see this? So that's something that I've been bringing up for the past several years through SHAC. So the survey that you showed everybody is the one that you usually fill out every year, right? And did you notice, I think it was question 3 or 4, it's one of the first 3 that comes up. By law, the students are supposed to be doing vigorous activity during their PE time. So the minutes in PE that are taken up to teach health take away from those minutes. And I know that I've been trying to see if maybe the classroom teachers are able to teach that instead of going through the PE classes. We do have health that is part of our PE curriculum, but a full health lesson that includes other things like visuals and hands-on would be better off in the classroom because they're already there in a setting where they can have access to that. And I would like to make a suggestion to do that and have maybe the classroom teachers do that with the help of the PE department, where we do get the information to them and they present it to the class themselves. I don't know.
So
I know it's going to take a while for us to get it in that way, but that's always been my idea in suggesting. And I know that, you know, I'm glad that everything has come together in the SHAC where we see the survey and we see the wellness plan together. So you see what I'm talking about.
So what the step that's going to happen right now is as I'm sharing this with you, you're seeing the alignment between the two. Is all I'm doing is I'm kind of reminding everyone as to what is on the actual plan and what the draft was and what it was that we said at the time that we were going to do. We're now at the point that we're going to evaluate ourselves. Did we say what? How did we do? Did we accomplish certain things? Did we not accomplish certain things? Are there some recommendations that need to be made? And we're at that point to make an evaluation and complete an evaluation and to be able to present that evaluation. Certainly the action, if you noticed that at the very beginning of the year, and this is something that I've shared with you, is that the Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills for PE and Health and also Sex Ed has changed. Remember that some of these TEKs have changed. And so there's some new requirements. So what we see and what we can project is that we can project some new changes to how this will be addressed in the future. There's going to need to be some discussions at the district level to determine some of those things that Nydia just shared was, okay, how exactly will the instruction be delivered? And so I think, and then what instruction will be delivered and how? So those are discussions that are right now, we're in the middle of that because we know that there's some new TEKs that have come out and there's some that addressing that will need to be done. So I know that in all fairness, we don't have the chief instructional officer with us. So it does fall under instruction. So it will be a topic of discussion that will be, certainly she is very much aware of and will be shared so that some district decisions will be made. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue with just kind of reminding everyone of the goals. These were just the goals that for participation that we were required to have as as the wellness policy for the district. So we talked, the first one had to do with nutrition. This next set of goals has to do with PE, physical activity. And also, if you remember, recall at the beginning, there has to be a SHAC subcommittee that covers the physical activity. Nydia mentioned some points with regard to engagement of the minutes and how that plays a role. And so, you know, she has kind of pointed out, you know, if we do the health, you know, how will that affect the number of minutes of physical activity? So I know that those are the future discussions that need to be made in-house within the district with regard to how this will be applied in the future. So the goals for implementing physical activity is just that. How will we provide an environment that fosters safe, enjoyable, and developmentally appropriate fitness activities for all students, including those who are not participating in physical education classes or competitive sports? The second goal was the district shall make appropriate before school and after school physical activity programs available and shall encourage students to participate. Now we know that we have just gone through 2 years of a pandemic, which kind of put a barrier there that we couldn't really take care of that. That is through no fault of our own. But we do see some activity resuming. And if you recall, I don't know if any of you guys have seen the after school programs now engage some of our athletes and some of our other programs, Bells and Dance Club, to participate, to help come to the after school programs to encourage them to do some of this other activity. So we're kind of resuming that. Goal number 3 was to make appropriate training and other activities available to district employees in order to promote enjoyable lifelong physical activity for district employees and students. So training for employees and also the annual Love Your Teacher. We're actually resuming the 5K event this year that will return again from just being away from some of those restrictions that were put on to us by COVID. Okay, and then that was pretty much it for PE. How do we increase the physical activity for our kids overall? The goals for other school-based activities kind of shifted to mental health. So the goal was to promote wellness, including mental health awareness training for students and their families at suitable district and campus activities. Now, there are a couple of things that I want to bring to light. We do have Del Rio Cares, and we kind of re-energized Del Rio Cares, but I want you to kind of go back and focus to what we said we're going to do. And the district, at that time, we were to provide digital citizenship and cyber safety awareness training for students and their families. There is now a board policy that came out, a change in board policy rather, in our student handbook that requires our parents and our students to go through digital citizenship training, and as well as training for cyber safety. And it is hyperlinked, and those are things that are already in the handbook. There's a hyperlink for parents, and those are things that I would kind of encourage, our all of our teachers and our counselors who are implementing the Del Rio Cares program, that they go back to this one in particular, because it is now one of the statutory requirements. We have implemented the anonymous reporting app. Our kids are using it, by the way. Not only our kids, but teachers and staff. So that is very active. And we have provided continuous training to our guidance counselors, for our staff and our parents on the suicide awareness and prevention policy. In addition to that, what we did to that is we now partnered with the TCHAT, which is the Texas Tech Health Science Center. And this really falls into place, and certainly all of our other programs like BCFS are now coming back and have always provided care and support for our families. And so I think when we come back and we revisit this, we kind of want to add some of the groups and agencies that have been available, resources that have been available to our district. Okay, and that is pretty much it. The rest of it is just our typical processes that we have, is requirements for selling beverages and foods. We have a policy, CO Legal, which has all of our elementary, middle school, and high schools pick a day in which that is their free day, in which they don't get penalized for selling items. Those types of things. And of course, all of this is just the requirement is the plan with evaluation has to happen at least every 3 years. So this is the end of year 3, guys. We are now at the point where we're ready to assess how the plan, and how do we update the plan. And of course, annually, we're required to post it on our website, and for transparency, what our plan is. Okay, I've spoken a lot. Any questions? And now it's your turn for feedback, any kind of feedback and things that we need to consider for our next meeting. Anyone? Okay, so we do have another meeting, and the next meeting for our SHAC will be the evaluation of the wellness plan and a follow-up to the survey that would be submitted to TEA. Okay. So it's basically, so we will branch out into subcommittees. We'll be talking to you guys individually. And we will be, you know, kind of, okay, let's take a look at this, and we will certainly follow up with you with regard to this process.
Okay, thank you for that information.
Yes, ma'am. Anyone else? All right, so I'm gonna ask for anyone, SHAC committee members, the motion to adjourn the meeting.
I make the motion to adjourn this meeting, Ms.
Okay,
Hernandez.
Ms. Claudia makes the motion to adjourn. Do we have a second?
I second the motion.
Ms. Fernandez seconds the motion to adjourn this meeting. Perfect. So the time is now 2:06. This meeting has been adjourned. Thank you so much for your participation today.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, everyone as well.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.